All right, welcome to another episode of Realty vs. Technology. I'm your host, Norman Kinsey. Today, we don't have a co-host with us, as Dan Gandy's a little busy today, and we're going to be mixing things up with new co-hosts. But today, we have a very special guest, actually two guests with us, and they're from ATLAST Premier Realty. We have Ryan and Nick on the show. Welcome to Real Estate vs. Technology, gentlemen.
What's going on? Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
And of course. I'm excited to hear your story and how you guys got together and how ATLAST is where it is today. So to start off the episode, we want to talk a little bit about that. So give us some context as far as, your backgrounds together. So when did you guys get started in the business? How long you've been in the business? And then how did you guys kind of come together? And Brian, if you want to go ahead and start, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, sure. So I started my career working in new construction back in 2011. Very quickly kind of made the transition over to the resale side of things in 2014. Started with a team 2014, made the jump to ATLAST here about 3.5 years ago.
Wow. That's awesome. What about you, Nick?
Yeah, so I've been a little more long-term. I started almost 18 years ago, almost fresh out of college in real estate. I was 23 years old. Been through the box brokerages, had great experiences along the way. And end of 2016, going into 2017, I just had been very transactional in my career and realized that, I was kind of going through a transformation of where I wanted to take the second half of my career. And start being more relational, tie more into our community. And that was the opportunity presented itself to partner with my partner, Greg, to co-own and kind of put ATLAST Premier Realty on the map. And we've been kind of going at it since. So
wow,
I've been with ATLAST since the beginning of 2017.
Wow, that's awesome. So then all three of you are partners then?
No, so Greg and I co-own ATLAST, and then Brian is our newly appointed sales director. Long overdue.
Love it. That's awesome. So was ATLAST around before, or did you establish the brokerage there with your partner?
Greg established it in 2014. Funny story is he actually started on my previous real estate team, and then broke off. Started this company, and then a couple years later kind of circled back around and joined them.
Wow, that's awesome. So then how did you guys end up connecting with each other?
With Ryan, we've been friends for a while, went to the same gym. We talked about him transitioning from new construction into real estate. At that time, he had some friends that had another real estate team. He jumped into real estate with that real estate team, but we just stayed in close contact. We always kind of had this synergy between one another. I think in the back of each other's minds, we knew that some way, somehow we were going to end up a business together. And it took some time, but it was the right time, and it happened all at the right time. So we linked up about 3 years ago, and he's just taking it and run, man. He's got a big heart. He's a smart dude. And he's the right person to be in this position with us right now through our growth spurt here.
That's awesome. It's always amazing to see kind of how relationships form and how something starts somewhere and the next thing you know, it evolves into this other place. So kudos to you and congratulations on all the success. So let's talk a little bit about ATLAST. So let's talk about transaction, buyer side, seller side, last 12 months. What does that look like for the brokerage as a whole as far as transaction volume?
Yeah, so transaction volume. So ATLAST is a little bit unique in its model, right? We're a team within ATLAST, and then we're also a general brokerage. So as it pertains to the team, that consists of 6 agents that did just over 51 million in volume, 184 transactions in 2020.
Wow, that is awesome. Congratulations on that. That's huge. So does your brokerage at ATLAST, does it focus on just buy side, sell side, 50-50? What makes up the actual transaction volume there?
Yeah, transaction volume, it's not quite 50-50. We're at in 2020, about 47% listing, 53% buy side. Kind of expecting that to kind of get more even keel heading into 2021, just with more of a primary focus on getting listings in a really, really low inventory market.
I mean, yeah, I was just about to say, with the inventory at 74% on listing transaction volume, I mean, that's huge. That's big in 2020, because we all know, I mean, I think across the nation, we all were experiencing low inventory as far as what we've been hearing on Real Estate First Tech, interviewing different brokerages, agents, coaches all across the nation. It seems like that's the commonality going on because of, obviously, what we all know happened in 2020.
Right. Yeah, right. No doubt.
Yeah.
It was really interesting. Like, it was one of the best times to sell because of the low inventory, put pressure on prices, but it was also a really opportunistic market to buy in because of low interest rates, creating good affordability conditions. So you had this interesting dynamic where it was a really good time to sell and a really good time to buy, and it's usually one or the other.
Yeah. Yeah. So true. Actually, my wife and I, we sold and bought during about March, April, May. So in COVID, and it's been great. I mean, we had much success from it. So for listeners and viewers out there, hey, when's the best time to buy or sell? It's now.
That's right. When you're ready, no doubt. The answer to that.
Yeah, exactly. When the time's right for you. So let's go into a little bit more of Atlas and what really differentiates you guys there. What makes you different?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, I mean, we experienced a little bit of a leadership reshuffle a few months ago. And with that reshuffle, we decided to revamp a lot of what we had going on. And we really wanted to focus on agents. And I know a lot of companies say that, but we really feel like, in my travels and his travels, that there's always a glass ceiling. And we wanted to take the shackles off, no more glass ceilings, no more dead ends. So we created a financial model, a career path for agents that was simple, first and foremost, no complexities, no hidden fees behind curtains. It was flexible. They had options, and most importantly, agents had control over their own adventure. They could choose their own adventure. There's no more glass ceilings. So, so that was one thing. I think also too, when you come here, like, we're really passionate about building people up. We want people to be really great agents, and we have really great support. We have really, really good systems and models in place to help people with that and support them so they can build big businesses. But we're really emphatic about people being the best version of themselves that they could possibly be, because you're not just a real estate agent. That's not what defines you. And so however you want to show up in this world, we want to help you do that. So we're all constantly pushing each other to be better parents, to be better friends, to be better community servants, to be better, in what they like to do at home, better financially. So it's not just about real estate. It's about being better, just versions of ourselves.
Wow. I love that culture. That's great. That definitely makes a huge difference, especially in these times, because competition, it's like, who do you go with? There's so many options for real estate professionals.
Yeah, it's we put our heads together, and we did a tremendous amount of market research prior to rolling out this new model that we have. And, at least in our market, but I think most everywhere, like, agent attrition is just a thing, right? I mean, agent attrition, people are always, as it seems to be, as they progress in their career and the more transactions, the more volume they do, they always feel that there's an inherent need that they've got to go and take the next step in their business elsewhere. And that's usually a byproduct of, they feel that they're paying their team lead or their brokerage too much money. They're not getting enough support, or there's just not enough value in the place that they currently are. So we started with those three filters in mind when we built out the new model. And our KPIs that we grade ourselves on are agent retention, number one, GCI per agent, number two, and then agent advocacy, right? Like, we want people to come, stay, grow their business, and know that we have career paths that allow them to grow and never have to leave to do it elsewhere. And by doing that, we're creating advocates for our brand and for our company. And law of attraction is kind of what we're going through right now. Which is really awesome.
Yeah. That's awesome. I like that cadence. I think that's great. And that's a good way to be able to measure success for your agents. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And when you measure it in that fashion, so when you measure the GCI per agent, and that's one of our KPIs, and you measure retention, like, we're shooting for 100% retention. We want people that fit our culture. That's the main filter. You got to be a culture fit. And then we want them to stay. When we're building you up and focusing on those two numbers, it puts pressure on us as a leadership team, as a support team, to continue perpetually build out value for you so that you don't leave, so you don't have eyes on greener pastures. So it keeps the accountability on us because we're focusing on keeping you here because we want to stay at 100% or 100% retention. We want to build up your GCI per agent in this company. So that it kind of works twofold there.
That's awesome. I love that. So next question before we get into the lightning rounds, getting into and deep diving more into technology that you're using there at ATLAST. What would you say is something that you have adapted to, or also the agents are adapting to on the technology side, like it's kind of like disrupted maybe traditional marketing, door knocking, door hangers, sending out mailers. Now, what are you guys doing differently? And that might be social media, might be video, and that you press upon your agents to also follow in your footsteps.
So from a technology standpoint, we're very, very firm believers that any business that you generate from the team or from the brokerage should be supplemental, right? Like we're firm believers in tried and true methods of self-generating business, right? And so today, a lot of that has to do with staying top of mind with your people, right? It's not rocket science. There's no necessary magic bullet that I think a lot of people search for. Yeah. It's just coming with value on a consistent basis, right? So we have automated a lot of what we do to stay in front of what we call like our top 100 people, right? Like each agent here creates a list of their top people, may not be 100, but that's what we aim for. And we're utilizing systems that get, valuable mailers in front of them every month. That get video email in front of them every month. Social media marketing calendars that we're engaging with our audience on a consistent basis, through Instagram, through Facebook, creating Facebook lists of your people and looking every day for opportunities to wow, right? Like create raving fans by creating, unexpected experiences for your people. So that then in turn, when they're thinking real estate, they're thinking of you. So we do utilize quite a few systems from a tech base. We also utilize a pretty robust CRM and follow-up sequence that we utilize through our coach, Eric Hatch and Hatch Coaching. Just to give that plug there. We're not compensated for that, I don't think. But no, we have a pretty unbelievable drip campaigns and automation for leads that come in that actually have about a 94% contact rate, which is pretty staggering. And we're able to see pretty significant ROI from our online lead sources because of that.
Yeah, another thing that we do that I think is a little differently is how we treat prospects. So if you think of a traditional sales funnel, it's obviously funnel shaped. At the top, you have that awareness stage, right? Like people are thinking of buying or selling. So we are thinking in that stage, like how are we messaging people to capture them, right? So that we get them in the funnel. Then you have the middle part of the funnel is consideration. Like they're aware they're going to do something. Now they're considering who they're going to work with and the team, the lender, the real estate agent, who they're going to work with, right? So how are we messaging them and showing value to that our hat's in the loop, right? Yeah. Our name's in the hat, right? And then you have that bottom part of the funnel, which is they commit, right? So you convert them. So that's what are we doing what tactics are we using in order to convert? That's where the traditional sales funnels ends. But we've actually extrapolated that out because our job as agents doesn't end at the settlement table. You don't convert a prospect and you're done marketing them. The lifetime value of a client's worth much more than what you get at the settlement table. So what we've done is we've built that funnel into an hourglass. So it comes out the bottom end and it starts to funnel back out. And it's about taking them from a client that you've closed to building what's we consider the golden egg, which is loyalty. Right? Like you're never going to leave you. And then what I think is a step beyond that, what we believe is a step beyond that, is what are we doing to create advocacy? Meaning they're carrying your flag. They're sharing your message. They're telling their friends and their family. So what are we doing to do that after the closing table? So it's about exceeding expectations. We talk a lot about scheduling your randomness. So if you see something, using social media as your weapon to do that. So people will throw their life on social media, good or bad. So if you see something, do something nice, just and schedule it, right? So Friday, I'm gonna do some random Popeyes and drop this off. Somebody's dog died. I'm gonna get them a small gift, right? Like they'll never forget you for that. And it had nothing to do with real estate, but you're creating that ironclad loyalty and advocate, part of your relationship with them. It didn't just, they know now that they weren't just a client to you. They were a relationship. That's taking it from transactional to relational. And that's what makes us different in how we're treating our business.
Wow. I love that. For our viewers and listeners, it's so crucial. I forgot the percentage, like 50 to 80% of agents drop off. They go through that transaction, it drops off, they don't follow up. And it's like, it's been 5 years. I have no idea what happened to Stacey. And it's just like, well, you follow her, you check her out on social media. And what do they say? People forget what you did, but they'll never forget the way that you made them feel. So I love how you're putting emphasis on that, Nick, because I really feel like it puts emphasis on like, hey, just show people that you care. Random acts of kindness. That's awesome. So, and
do it on a consistent basis, right? I mean, early on, I learned that like everything works and nothing doesn't. It's what you just commit to doing consistently. So you may be sending mailers out every single month and not getting a response from certain people in your database, but 2 years later, they might call you and be like, hey, I want to sell my house out of the blue. And it's just because you did those right things. And just in our business, everyone jumps from shiny, golden nugget to the next, hoping to find this magic pill. And it doesn't work.
Right. Nope. That's a good point for our viewers and listeners. They definitely got to take into consideration. Don't always go to the next shiny toy or object or offering, and stay the course. I love that. So now we're going to transition into our lightning rounds, going into more specifics about technology that you're using at Atlas. So we'll go ahead and change the viewing angle here. Normally Dan Gandy would do this section, but I'm going to do it today. So this should be fun. So first, number one, lead source. What do you guys use lead source?
Number one lead source would be Zillow.
Love it. Awesome. Cold calling. Still cold calling?
We do not have a formal process for cold calling. However, we do have agents that do dial expireds very, very successfully.
Love it. Mailers. Still sending out mailers?
Yep.
Yes. Love it. Fantastic. Lead via website or SEO. Do anything with that?
Yes.
Love it. Fantastic. What about leads via Facebook?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. And I'm sure Instagram, all other social media as well. I know you touched briefly on CRM. What CRM is it that you recommend?
Sierra Interactive.
Okay. I've heard about that. Time organizing. You use any application for time organization?
Yeah, we're very, very big on Google Calendar.
I love it. Same here. Fantastic. Data company. You use any data companies to be able to mine data, pull data, find information, lists, things like that?
We use like broker metrics, in terms of from a recruiting perspective. Outside of that, not really.
Yeah, we have done Vulcan 7 and some of the agents that do expireds use that.
Okay. Awesome. Fantastic. What's your number one technology tool that you're using right now in the brokerage?
Right now, it would absolutely be Sierra Interactive and our drip campaigns.
Okay. Anything new? Any new technology you're excited about? Maybe you're testing on the back end you haven't put out there just yet for 2021 to come?
Probably Brokerage.
Yeah, Brokerage.
Okay. I love it. That's fantastic. Well, that was a really fast round. So that was our lightning round, and good job. That was quick. Awesome. I know, right? This is always evolving. So that could be part of the process in the near future. You never know. You get the fastest lightning round. So last couple questions. And before we end the show, we always like to open the floor up to you as well. So the next question for me is do you consider yourself an expert by chance in any specific market, area, type of client?
I would say based on where we live in a more rural area in Northern Maryland. So because of that, we kind of encompass a lot of the surrounding counties. We certainly have a very good market share here in Carroll County, but our agents work everywhere from Harford County all the way up to the Pennsylvania line.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that if we were speaking geographically, where we live is kind of like our county is a series of just Main Street type community towns. And so we really specialize in that because it is a family atmosphere. It's a family type community. And one of the things with us is we feel like we're really good at connecting with other small businesses, collaborating with local leadership. If you have a need, we probably know somebody, and it's just easier to do in a smaller knit community like this. So yeah, I'd say that's kind of our expertise.
Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome.
Community connectors.
I love that. And that's the way you build, right? You build with community.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. So what about farm? Buyer farm, seller farm, establish those, doing those type of activities for generating leads for Atlas? in your agent?
Again, some agents do farm certain areas. We more farm for our ideal client.
Yeah.
Right. We farm based on whom we feel is our ideal client versus, a specific neighborhood.
Yeah. I mean, like our farming is more into our specific databases and our sphere of influences. We do have kind of a specific demographic that we do most of our business with. It's usually the move up buyer sellers. Right. So I think one of the things that's a little different than what we do with from a marketing standpoint is we take time to dive or pull back on how we're marketing them. We think about their psychographics. So in other words, what are their goals? What are their fears? What questions are they asking themselves? And then we gear a lot of how we're talking to these people and we're addressing those questions in how we're doing our marketing, how we're doing our mailers, how we're doing our social media. So it's hitting on what they're thinking about, in their heads as they're thinking about buying or selling.
Got it. No, love that. Awesome. So last question before we open the floor up to both of y'all is a secret weapon. If I was a customer and I wanted to hire you and your services there at ATLAST, what would be a secret weapon or something you would tell me that would make me feel comfortable that you're going to win, right? You're going to sell my home, top dollar, days on markets are going to be short. Like what would that be? What would be that thing?
I mean, I would say that we do a phenomenal job at tracking all of our data, right? So I can sit in front and show you every single house and metric that we have sold over the last 3 years. And I can show you that in 2020, we sold every single listing at 101% of sales price, right? Wow. And then we can then break that number down based on the things that we're doing. And that largely just comes down with knowing our markets so well that we know how to price property effectively. We start with that. And then secondarily, we get phenomenal amount of exposure through the way that we market your property and who we target for your specific property. And then finally, from a customer service standpoint, our back-end systems and our transaction management and operation guys, you have a team working for you all the time, and you never have to worry about not getting in touch, not getting questions answered. We try to make it as seamless as a roller coaster ride that it can be.
Yeah, and on that note, on the back end, like the support that we have here, not only do they have the systems down and they set the right expectations and their communications down, but how you want to be communicated with, they'll mirror and match that. So if you're straight direct to the point, they'll be straight direct to the point, so they're not wasting your time. If you're jovial and like you messaging through GIFs and memes and stuff like that, they'll do that too. They'll have fun with it. They'll mimic how you want to be communicated with. And I think it comes down to that. What I was saying earlier is we're not transactional, we're relational, and everybody buys into that. So they're building that relationship too on the back end. So as an agent, when you're handing that off and you're having support, you know that they're kind of filling that bucket as well.
That's awesome. I love that. Like I said, I just sold and bought a home just 6 months ago, and I love that aspect of being able to have it so it's more customized to your approach. How do you want to be spoken to? So that way we can make it happen, because I know that everyone's very different. I'm not the easiest customer. But, I want the information. I want it now. I don't want to have to ask, the questions that I feel like I should already be told. So kudos to you guys over at ATLAST, because that's awesome. I love that approach. So we're at the point of the episode now where the floor is open. So if there's something coming up, new project, something coming up, recruitment, whatever it is, go ahead and the floor is yours for our viewers and listeners. What would you like them to know?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is, we've moved fast over the last couple months and to round out to 2020. And we are on a main street. We're located on a main street in our town of Westminster, which is in Carroll County, Maryland. But we just recently signed a lease, and we will be opening our second location in downtown Baltimore, and probably the nicest location of the city on Canton Square. So that's really exciting. It's about 3,000 square feet. And we're currently in build-out phase, or rounding out the build-out phase. We'll be open February 1st. So we've got our second location coming, and that's created some attraction and really exciting around here. A lot of momentum going on around here.
Yeah, we definitely have about 50 million in volume from new commits coming on to the general brokerage over the next 6 weeks. We have 6 brand new team agents that are starting, and a lot of that is a byproduct of, number one, our new career path model that we have, as well as arguably the most extensive onboarding, high intensity onboarding program for people that are brand new career changing to being an agent. it's a 4-week intensive every day, 40 hours a week. You're in here learning soup to nuts how to be an agent, so that when you graduate that program, you are as proficient, if not more proficient, than 99% of the agents in the marketplace. So the combination of new location, new career path, and new onboarding program, we've been meeting with a lot of people, which is very exciting.
Wow, that's awesome. For our viewers and listeners out there, down below there will be some links to the website for Atlas, also the Instagram, so they can go ahead and reach out to you guys. You're more than welcome if you want to put out like a phone number, email, direct. How do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, sure. I mean, anyone that's interested in exploring Atlas as an opportunity can email me directly at ryan@atlaspremierrealty.com. I'll respond to you right away.
Awesome. Fantastic. Well, gentlemen, thanks so much for being on Real Estate versus Technology. This is amazing to have an opportunity to deep dive into Atlas, what you guys are doing there. So thank you both. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, of course. And thanks to our viewers and listeners, as it is our intention for you to take something from each episode to apply to your real estate business to have more massive success. And we will. See you on the next one.
It made it to the end. Well, thank you so much for watching Real Estate versus Technology. We hope you found value, especially something you can apply to your real estate business. If you could do us a favor, we would appreciate it. A thumbs up. If you subscribe, hit the notification bell. You'll be notified for new episodes coming out. And comment below, what the heck did you learn? If you want to join our Facebook group page, there's a link right here. And if you want to be featured on Real Estate versus Technology, send us a DM on our Instagram page. We'll see if we get you on the show. So, take care. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.